coming at you, about to teach you a lesson. When it comes to code, you know he's never guessing. So if you think you wanna learn to go and code things, get on up to Lesson on Coding.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lesson on Coding. My name is Ryan Lesson. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about what I believe to be the cure for computer vision syndrome, especially in my case. Now before I get into exactly what this solution is, and in fact it is something called Punctal plugs, let me give you a quick backstory what led me to finding this solution. Now, at the time, this was about 2 years ago, I was programming at least 10 to 12 hours a day. I was, staring very closely at the screen, and due to all this blue light exposure, I found that my eyes were not blinking enough. And this normally happens when you are exposed to a lot of blue light. Your eyes don't blink as often. Maybe they'll blink 1/10 the amount of blinks that they're supposed to do in a minute. So all this non-blinking activity is really causing you to lose a lot of tears, and these tears cause your eyes to dry up. And for me, this got so bad to the point that it was hard for me to even look at computer screens in the first place. And my eyes were always very, very red and just so dry. Like, I remember there would be times where I'd wake up in the morning and it would be hard for me to open my eyes first thing in the morning. I would have to go and I'd have to try to get drops in them, kind of pry them open and put drops in them. And this was not pleasant at all. This was not what I was looking for. And I went to numerous eye doctors to try to help me find out what the solution to this was. And I went around, did a whole bunch of different drops. Those weren't really helping out. And then eventually I tried these things called Punctal plugs. Now what Punctal plugs are is they look like a grain of rice, and they put it in one of your tear ducts on both of your eyes. And this essentially plugs it from tears getting lost. Now this drastically helped me just retain my eyes moisture and be able to really be able to stare at computer screens for a longer duration of time. Now, I first started off with a dissolvable one. Now these dissolvable ones lasted, I think, maybe 10 days before they dissolved, and almost immediately when I put these plugs in, I felt a difference. I was able to just be able to look at all computer screens. I didn't have that same problem of waking up in the morning with my eyes so red and so dry that I couldn't open them. So this was a perfect solution, and then eventually I went to a doctor and I had permanent Punctal plugs put in. Now these aren't permanent, you can remove them at any time, but they just stay in for as long as you want them to, and that's what I got in both eyes, and the improvements were dramatic. I now have barely any eye strain problems. I never really have too many issues with dry eyes when looking at computer screens. Although I do take a lot of breaks from my screens, I mandatory take breaks throughout the day, and I always make sure to blink, because that's the most important thing. When you're not blinking, your eyes are getting drier. So make sure you're proactively blinking if you're looking at a screen for a long duration of time. And lastly, I would also recommend daily contacts. For me, it's okay, if you're a programmer, I'm just going to assume 95% of the time you wear glasses. So if you are wearing contacts, switch to dailies. Okay, dailies are another thing you could do on top of this that really helps keep your eyes moist. Okay, for me, this was another dramatic change. This is honestly probably the most dramatically changing thing I've done in my life in the past 5 years, was get daily contacts. So I highly recommend those. And if those don't help and the issue is still there with your dry eyes, I recommend getting Punctal plugs. That's all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I thought I'd make a quick one, kind of jumping back on the scene, since I haven't produced any content in a while. So thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, take care. Woo!